Mount Everest, over 29,000 feet, the tallest in the world. Denali, or Mount McKinley, over 20,000 feet, the tallest in the U.S. But here in Texas, we have our own high peak. It sits in the remote reaches of far west Texas, but we begin our ascent in the town of Van Horn!
This episode was made for y'all with the help of our awesome partners. Check the caption for more info.
Van Horn is out there, 6 to 8 hours from Texas's big cities, but less than 2 hours from El Paso. So it makes a great day trip for our fellow Texans out west. See, we didn't forget about you guys. Van Horn sits in the middle of the vast Chihuahuan Desert. To most, it's a truck stop, an I-10 refuge to refuel and relieve. But for those that can look beyond the pumps, Van Horn is also a place for some great day tripping. So we're headed to Papa's Pantry for some good old-fashioned home-cooked breakfast, which out here in West Texas could mean either Tex or Mex.
Okay, so this is Viola Luna. Tell me a little bit about this place.
This is a place that you come to get a little bit of home cooking, Mexican and American food. The owner, Mrs. McBurney, she makes homemade bread, homemade desserts, homemade tortillas, which are rare to find these days. I know I don't make them.
Where did the recipes for this stuff come from?
They're secret. They're hers.
Okay.
She won't pass them out.
You don't even know.
No. We don't even see when she makes them.
Wow. Under the cloak of darkness, she comes in, stirs up her secret recipes.
And when you ask her, she might give you a helpful hint, but she doesn't share ingredients.
Oh, wow. Well, whatever she puts in it, it works, because the customers keep coming.
All right, man, so how's the breakfast?
It's great, man. Fantastic. The eggs, the bacon, everything, man. We love it.
Yeah.
We're here every morning, religiously, man. This is what I ask for every morning, man. Eggs and bacon and wheat toast and tea, man.
Yeah, country breakfast sounds pretty good, but not as good as the house specialty.
Huevos rancheros,
Really?
which is a lightly corn-fried tortilla, 2 eggs any style, topped with green sauce. You get beans, hash browns, and a homemade tortilla.
So yeah, that sounds awesome. Now, everyone else, I think in the rest of Texas, eats huevos rancheros with like a red sauce on them. Have you ever had that?
Yes.
So what is this? This is like totally different.
It's like a creamy enchilada sauce instead.
Is this normal out here in Van Horn?
So they do it the way they do it, and that's why they're Papa's Pantry.
Right, yeah. They do it the way they do it.
Yeah, out here in the desert, you get to do things however you want. And right now, I want to eat.
Look at this. This looks different than any other plate of huevos rancheros you'll find all over Texas. 2 eggs, I got them over hard, on top of a corn tortilla, hash browns, beans, but then here's the special part, the sauce, the ranchero sauce, all over everything. You've got sort of like a creamy, almost Suizas type sauce. Throw in the green chilies, kicks up the spice, the eggy deliciousness, the tortilla deliciousness, the beanie deliciousness. And with the corn tortilla on the bottom, it's almost like I'm eating a breakfast taco, but I'm not. It's the huevos rancheros. You know, everywhere else in Texas, you get a red sauce on huevos rancheros. We gotta tell you, this green sauce out here in Van Horn at Papa's Pantry, I don't care if they're doing this different, because they're doing this delicious. Mi abuela never cooked like this. Probably because I didn't really have an abuela, I had a grandma. But I wish I did. This, my friends, is the way to start the day in West Texas.
All right. And after I've conquered my plate of huevos rancheros, it's time to conquer the top of Texas. This epic place isn't in Van Horn, but about 60 miles north, through one of the most open and completely uninhabited parts of Texas. A land so mountainous that it doesn't even fit in the central time zone.
Oh, hey guys, I don't know if I mentioned this. There's a time zone up ahead. Have y'all ever time traveled?
No.
Uh-oh, okay. All right, listen, y'all probably just want to hold on to something. I mean, it's right up the road here, okay?
What?
Get ready.
Right
yeah,
here?
5,
What?
4, 3, 2, 1. All right, okay.
Oh, cool. Okay, now set y'all's clocks back an hour. That was pretty awesome.
This doesn't look any different.
Oh, no, wait. It's way different. It's an hour ago here. Yeah. Whew, your mind just exploded. It's all right.
Welcome to Mountain Time. As we make our way through the desert, flanked by mountains on each side, suddenly a much larger, more magnificent shadow appears on the horizon. As we get closer, the sheer face of Texas's El Capitan towers above us. And that's not even the highest peak. And I realize that this is going to be a long hike. Many Texans don't realize the significance of our national parks. I mean, we only have 2 in the entire state. One is Big Bend, but to get to the highest point in Texas, you got to come here, Guadalupe Mountains National Park. Before you hit the trail, it's always good to pop into the visitor center to check in, grab a map, and to get the most updated information on trails. In other words, I need to know what I'm up against and what I might run into out on the trail. Here's the map, and as you can see, this park is huge. It covers over 135 square miles. There's just no way you could do it all in a day. So you gotta pick your plan of attack. And today, I've got one mission, and that's right here. I'm heading to the top of Texas, Guadalupe Peak. Now for a warm-up and to learn a little bit more about this park, I'm going for a short hike on the Pantry Trail with Ranger Michael Haney.
The park was designated in 1966 to protect a fossil reef. We have over 500 types of fossils that have been documented here. This reef formed during the Permian period. That was 260 to 270 million years ago.
Wow, so this really is a reef that was underwater at some point?
Yes, the Earth's crust has fractured and been lifted up higher, so the water was never over the mountaintop, but it's basically a recreation of a seascape.
Oh, that's crazy. You come to the mountains to learn about the ocean.
Right. So we have over 1,000 types of species of plants, over 300 types of birds have been documented here.
Oh, cool.
Some of our plants grow only in this mountain range and nowhere else in the world. And we have over 80 miles of trails. They fall into 2 basic types. The canyon hikes are flat, a little rocky, but you can do those in a few hours, half day type of thing. The mountain hikes you can do in a day, but they're strenuous, and you're looking at 6 to 8 hours, 8 or 9 miles for most of those.
And that includes Guadalupe Peak. No time to waste. Bring on the mountain. And joining me on this epic quest to the top of Texas are the legendary Bargo brothers, Brandon and Greg.
All right, so there's a few things you're gonna need to take with you on your hike, the most important of which is water. The only source is down here on ground level. So if you don't pack it up, you ain't drinking it up there.
And it's off we go. Let's hit the trail. Our final destination sitting 8,749 feet in the sky. Considering many famous peaks in the U.S. are over 14,000 feet, folks may underestimate this climb. However, it's not just the elevation you finish at, it's also the elevation you start at. And with 8.4 miles to cover and over 3,000 feet of elevation gain, this climb is up there with the best of them.
You can totally tell from the elevation gain how much difference it makes in the oxygen. You really can. Yeah. Your breaths aren't as full, and you're taking more of them.
And this is just a start.
I know, you were just starting.
Only 2,700 vertical feet to go.
But once you've committed to the summit, all you can do is keep climbing. And I do mean climbing.
Hey, Chet, trail's right here, buddy.
Oh, right. Yeah, right. I saw that.
Okay, not like that. The trail is more of a slow and steady burn. Nothing that requires ropes. It's a hike where the joy is truly in the journey. Every rocky and exhausting step of it.
I think I'll just take a little breather here. Not a bad view for it.
And as the trail rises, the views only get better.
Wow, look at this crazy tree right here. I've never seen one of these before. It's called the Texas Madrone, and it's got this red, orangey bark covering it all. I've never seen anything like it.
What's even more amazing is that the plant life keeps changing with the elevation. From arid desert landscapes to towering pine forests, all the way to grassy valleys.
Man, that's incredible. You're climbing, gaining altitude, and then you hit this spot where it sort of levels out into this grassy, piney, almost meadowland. I mean, the ecosystem has totally changed.
While the desert can be scorching below, up here in the high country, temps can be 15 to 20 degrees cooler, and winds can be much stronger. Afternoon storms can often blow in unexpectedly, so it's best to be off the peak by early afternoon. Now, while we don't see any mountain lions as warned, there are definitely some smaller animals around.
You get him now. Can you hear that? It sounds like a locust or cicada, but the clicks are really far apart. Not like a buzzing like you normally hear. It's some kind of Guadalupe ghost bug in these trees. Did you find one? Hey, man.
You see that? It looks like the top, doesn't it? But it's not. It's just a menacing mirage called a false summit. The real Guadalupe Peak is actually the mountain behind that you can't even see. Oh, it's a little heartbreaking, but all you can do is just keep on keeping on. Just toying with my emotions. But as long as you've got the persistence to just keep climbing, you'll make it to the top. I think we've done about 2,000 feet of the 3,000 feet climb. 2/3 of the way there. Whew. All right, back to the trail, which is only getting more intense. Check this out. And that is the reason you stay on the trails. Woo! So we've braved steep inclines, false summits, and treacherous paths. And finally, the peak is in our sights. Now that is the real summit, Guadalupe Peak. And here we are. Aha! Yeah! The top of Texas, all to ourselves. Top of Texas! A stunning 360-degree view of my home, the Lone Star State. Look at that. El Capitan, rising in the distance, which looks much different from this angle. I don't know if it's more dramatic from the front or back here. That's pretty impressive. You can see it's just like a watchtower for all of West Texas. You know, I've done a lot of things in this state, and this goes up there with the best of them. Yeah, we can sign this. You know, we all came from different parts of Texas, different parts of the world, but we all have something in common, and that's that we made it all the way right here to the top of Guadalupe Peak. You know, being up here reminds me of one of my favorite verses that says, all of creation declares the glory of God. And you come up here to something like this, and your jaw just hits the ground, and you really feel so close to the great creator of everything. Man, the universe is beautiful, isn't it? Texas is especially beautiful. So after some time for quiet reflection, and of course the obligatory picture to prove you made it to the top, it's time for the 4.2 miles back down, which, trust me, goes much, much faster, especially on TV. You see, we already made it.
We now interrupt this programming to remind you to like and subscribe. Now back to the road.
So now that we've stood upon the top of Texas, it's time to explore the lower elevations. Back to Van Horn, the small town in the Texas desert. Before I-10 was built, the major highway used to cut right through the heart of town. It was a bustling city with service stations, shops, and hotels. Lots of hotels. Everything a weary traveler might need. But since I-10 was built, most folks just fly past Van Horn and never think twice. However, those that do stop will find a hideaway packed with everything a desert-built West Texas town should have, including history, dating all the way back to the days of the stagecoaches and the San Antonio-El Paso mail route.
Let's go, boys! This mail ain't gonna deliver itself!
These fearless drivers braved everything from harsh roads to frequent Indian attacks just to deliver the mail. And they often carried with them passengers as fearless as they were.
Oh, honey, hush. I see them. I'll pick them off one at a time. You will not get this mail!
But in the 1880s, the era of the Pony Express and stagecoaches gave way to the railroad. And the best place to dive into the history is here at the Clark Hotel Historical Museum.
So this is Doris McVeigh, who is a local, is going to tell us a little bit about the hotel we're standing in right here.
Oh, well, this is the Clark Hotel Museum. It was one of the first permanent buildings that was built in Van Horn.
Wow.
But then later on, the Clark family bought this and turned it into a hotel.
So this used to be the main sort of thoroughfare in town.
It was. That was the main street.
So how did Van Horn get here in the first place, in the middle of the desert like this?
Originally, it was a railroad stop, and it is 120 miles in any direction to, well, we'd say a Walmart or anything else that you need, just point. And it was a perfect little hub for the railroad to come through.
Well, this is really neat. I see this whole museum is full of like artifacts and history. And
it's wonderful. This area right in here has been everything from the lobby of the hotel to the sheriff's office. It was the courthouse at one time. It's been a lot of different things over the years.
But today, it's the entrance to one of the neatest and strangest museums you'll ever walk into.
It's very interesting. We have a lot of artifacts that you might not find in other regular museums because everything here is just wide open. We don't have a lot of cases and things like that.
And here is a dinosaur leg boat. It's like around every turn you see something crazy.
And upstairs, the museum gets even crazier.
Weird. It's quiet up here. The only thing creaking is the floor. I mean, this feels exactly like it would have back when this thing was a hotel like 75 years ago. It's like nothing's changed. This is a little bit creepy. It's really neat though. Different families have donated items that are filling up these rooms. These mannequins are a little bit creepy. You turn a corner and you really swear somebody's standing there. Ooh.
Yeah, let's just keep moving, shall we? Now, Van Horn is the county seat of Culberson County and used to have a beautiful courthouse before they dynamited it in favor of progress and to build this courthouse. Downgrade. And while it may look like a courthouse, these ruins are actually the remnants of an old duke's house who went bankrupt and then jetted out of town. Yeah, desert towns tend to have some pretty interesting characters. So while many historic buildings haven't stood the test of time, some have, including the famous Hotel Capitan. Built in 1930 to accommodate Van Horn's affluent cattle, oil, and railroad visitors, Hotel Capitan is legendary. And if this one looks familiar from past day trips, well, that's because architect Henry Trost also designed Hotel Paisano in Marfa, two incredible Southwest-inspired hotels out here in West Texas. The design and detail Trost incorporated into both hotels is stunning, but this one has a secret past.
Okay, so Daniel and Jay agreed to take us down for a little tour of the basement. We got flashlights and the lights are completely out down there. Whoa, tunnels? What are the tunnels doing?
Back in Prohibition, the bar was downstairs, and they had tunnels that went all over town to go from place to place.
Seriously? Wow. So these actually left the hotel, went under the streets into the
a lot
other...
of them went to the museum, but when the bank bought them out, they caved in the tunnels. A lot of them are for security reasons.
Sure.
So they don't go across anymore.
Yeah. More hotels need secret passageways, I think. You never know what you find in basements of old hotels, man.
Yeah.
But the speakeasy days are behind El Capitan, and above ground the hotel is much less scandalous and a bit more luxurious. But all that hiking has finally caught up with me. I'm starving. Now, folks who don't know and they visit Van Horn will probably end up eating some truck stop food. But those willing to detour from the highway and follow in the footsteps of a legend will find themselves at Chewy's restaurant. Not to be confused with the Austin-based Tex-Mex chain. This is the old school West Texas Chewy's.
Okay, so this is Paul Uranga, the owner of Chewy's. Hey, thank you very much for having us. So tell me a little bit about this restaurant.
Well, this restaurant was established back in 1959 by my parents, and then my dad passed away back in 2008, and I took it over since 2008.
Is Tex-Mex different out here in West Texas?
Well, yes, it is. I mean, you've got like this people, they come and they say, well, it's a little different, but we like it. Just like, for instance, our enchiladas. You know, we serve them pretty much like stacked. They're like, what do you mean stacked? Like pancakes. A lot of people like them rolled, but we stack them. We just make them a little bit different.
And is that just a West Texas thing?
A West Texas thing, yes.
The way they've always been doing
made them, always made them.
Where did all these recipes come from?
From my mom and my dad.
Okay.
You know.
Chewy was and still is a Van Horn legend in his own right. But there's another one who has made quite a name for this little Mexican joint, and that's NFL Hall of Famer John Madden.
Yeah, Mr. Madden, he stopped here back in 1987, was the first time.
Okay,
Lost reception. It was a Monday night. We had an ad out there that said TV. And he stopped in, and he's been stopping ever since.
Very cool.
Despite having to travel across the U.S., Madden will not fly. That means his epic road trips require some epic grub. He's such a common customer that he even has his own room, a reserved seat in front of the big screen, and his own specialty dish.
John Madden is chicken breast with long green peppers, onions, tomatoes, cooked on the grill with a light cheese sauce, and with beans and rice.
Got it.
Yeah.
So does he order that every time?
Always orders that plus something else.
Is this your first time here?
No, I try to keep coming every time we come through out of El Paso.
So this is if you're on a road trip, Chewy.
This is a place to go.
You ever run into John Madden in here?
No, I haven't. I keep reading that thing where he comes in. He says he comes once a year.
Yeah.
And every time that we head out west, we make it a point to stop here. The food's good. We love the atmosphere, and the tea is to die for.
Really?
Yes, it's the best iced tea ever.
That's enough reason to come to a Mexican food joint, right?
Yeah, it is for me, yeah.
How long do you think you've been coming here?
Oh gosh, 20 years.
Really?
At least.
Yeah. Has it changed much?
No, hardly at all.
Really?
Never seen John Madden here.
Oh.
But that's my loss.
I might not be able to meet Madden today, but I can still eat like him.
Oh, yes. Thank you. This is the chicken picado, John Madden's favorite. It's got big chunks of chicken with some onions, some peppers, some tomatoes, and then, of course, rice and beans going on that side. Here we go. You eat it on a tortilla, kind of like a fajita. That's good. Big old juicy chunks of chicken, seasoned right. That's fantastic. The peppers, the onions, the tomatoes. I don't think I could go on a road trip past Van Horn without stopping right here. John knows what he's doing. That's why he's a pro.
What's that?
No. That's John Madden. He's here today. Keep cool, Chet. Keep cool.
Wow, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a guy who's ordered the chicken piccata. This guy, I gotta get in there and see what he's got going on there. Yeah, this is my favorite dish here. It's got the peppers and the chickens and the onions and the tortillas. This is my favorite thing. And he just orders it. Boom, there it is. He's got the chicken chunk on the fork. He's bringing it up to his mouth. Whoa, he hesitates and then boom, he put it in his mouth. Wow, he's got his tortillas there and he's blocking out that chicken piccata like the Oakland offensive line. Push him back, and then boom, he goes in for the bite. Whew. Not even the great Brett Favre could eat a chicken piccata plate like this. Wow, well, let's take a look at the replay on that. Look, he took that tortilla and he pushed it back to the back and boom! Man, he took it to that piccata. Took it right down the old gully. And then you see him clearly going in with a fork, but then he cuts left toward the beans, brings it to the right, boom! Touchdown day tripper. Boom, beans, whoa! He's got it, this guy. Wow. Oh, he knows what he's doing. Whew.
What a day. Van Horn is truly the crossroads of West Texas, a place where deserts meet mountains, past meets present, and Tex-Mex specialties meet my stomach. So next time you're passing through, make sure you stop and appreciate the view.
Great food, great day trip. A little awkward on account of you-know-who, but it's all good. So I'll see all y'all out on the road.
Bye, con Dios, amigo. Boom. Where's my chicken piccata?
A Van Horn. You get it? There's a van with a horn on it. It's a Van Horn.
Thank you very much for having us. Welcome. Well, hey, tell me a little bit about this. Okay, so this is Doris McVeigh, local Van Hornian. That sounded bad.
Let's go do that. And there were
What's that? Will I speak into that? Hey, what you do? What picture's in there?
It's not too heavy, it's light, it's powerful with bunches of this size spices.
Okay, let's see where he takes his next bite here. Of something I got like Jersey-ish.
Like on Dios.
Sort of reminds me of Brett Favre. Right? I Never seen Brett Favre eat Mexican food, but I can imagine this beautiful thing. Whoa, he's splitting that rice and beans like a defense. Wait, like that. Come to me, John, man. Help me, I'm running out.
All day long, she said, baby, now don't you roam. If you want to play at home.
Howdy, y'all. Follow along with my adventures at Chet Tripper on Instagram and at The Day Tripper TV on Facebook and YouTube. Or head to thedaytripper.com for travel guides, past episodes, and info on our mobile app and Team Day Tripper.
This episode was made for y'all with the help of our awesome partners. Check the caption for more info. Howdy, y'all. Chet the Day Tripper here. Thanks so much for tripping with us. Remember, while you're here, like this video, subscribe to our channel so that we can stay out there on the road and keep on tripping. Did we miss anything in this town? Leave us a comment. Let us know. We love finding out about new stops with all of your tips. And if you love Epic Texas Day Trips, remember to check our channel. We got a lot of them on there. Also, don't forget, if you want some sweet Day Tripper merch or another cool Texas-made product, come see us in Georgetown at the Day Tripper World Headquarters. You can also shop online if you check the link down there in the caption. All right, y'all. Bye con Dios, amigos.